students, this is a very short note on the structures passing through the superior orbital fissure. Now this superior orbital fissure is present in the middle cranial fossa, the anteriormost part of the middle cranial fossa, and gives passage to so many structures from the middle cranial fossa which are going to the orbit, or some structures coming from the orbit towards the middle cranial fossa. Okay, so this is an important short note which deals with the structures passing through the superior orbital fissure. Let us see where is this superior orbital fissure is located. The superior orbital fissure is an elongated gap in sphenoidal bone. This is an elongated gap. Let me show you the bony structure first, and then I will come to the structure. Now for this I will also take the help of this theme dissector, the head and neck part of which is authored by me, published by the theme. I am thankful to the theme for using this dissector. Okay, let us see the diagrams of the orbit first. Okay, in this we will see the orbit first. See this diagram of the orbit, and I hope that you are able to see this orbit here. This is the orbital margins outer, and then you can see a fissure here. See in this fissure, it is the superior orbital fissure, and then you can also see here, just a minute, you can also see a small foraminal opening. Let me put it in proper way. And a small foraminal opening is seen here, this one, and this is the optic canal through which the optic nerve and ophthalmic arteries will come to the orbit. So this is the superior orbital fissure, and this is the lesser wing of the sphenoid, and this area is the greater wing of the sphenoid. Thus this fissure is located between the lesser wing of the sphenoid above and the margin of the greater wing of the sphenoid. Medially it is the body of the sphenoid, and in this body of the sphenoid we will see that there will be the presence of a fibrotendinous ring which will be enclosing the part of this part of this orbital fissure. Okay, let me go to some other diagram which may show you some better picture. Okay, give you some better idea about this, and let us go to the sphenoid bone itself, separate sphenoid bone, and here you can see this is the greater wing of the sphenoid and this is the lesser wing of the sphenoid. Then this is the gap, that elongated fissure between the lesser and the greater wing of the sphenoid, which is said to be the superior orbital fissure. Okay. Now in this diagram, since it is a top view, this is the lesser wing of the sphenoid, and here it is the greater wing of the sphenoid. The fissure is inside where this arrow is passing. Since it is a top view, we cannot see the fissure because it is hidden deep to that of the greater wing of the sphenoid. This whole is the lesser wing of the sphenoid. But in this diagram, yes, you can see the presence of the greater and lesser wing of the sphenoid and the fissure which is present. This is the sella turcica, antioclinite process is here. See, this is the dorsum celli, and just in front of this will be the sella turcica, not seen in this diagram. So this is antioclinite process. This is the opening of the optic canal, and you can see here this whole bone is the greater wing of the sphenoid. This is the lesser wing, and this wide superior orbital fissure now can be realized between the greater and lesser, and this is located in the middle cranial fossa. So many structures, they communicate between the middle cranial fossa and that of the the orbit. Okay, the orbital. Let me see if I get some other good diagram to show you, because to realize it a little difficult. Okay, it is difficult with the help of the diagrams only. Okay, diagrams only. Okay, here you can see another view of the orbit, where we can see that there is the superior orbital fissure is shown in its complete extent, and this is that optic canal opening. This is that body of the sphenoid. Okay, I was showing you this part is the body of the sphenoid. Okay, and this is the maxilla, and this is the greater wing of the sphenoid. So the lesser wing and greater wing encloses this superior orbital fissure. This is the frontal bone of the orbit. This gap which you are seeing between the greater wing of the sphenoid and maxilla and zygomatic bone here, okay, little part of the zygomatic, and this is the greater part of the maxilla, orbital surface of maxilla. There is one more fissure here, and that is called as the inferior orbital fissure. But we are just here on the superior orbital fissure. Hope you must have seen. I have drawn a diagram here of the superior orbital fissure. This is the lesser wing of the sphenoid, LWS. That means it is the lesser wing of the sphenoid, and this is that fissure, okay, superior orbital. Below this is the greater GWS, means greater wing of the sphenoid, and then you are seeing here, okay, the body of the sphenoid from which both the wings will go laterally. That is the lesser wing and that of the greater wing of the sphenoid. Okay, now in this lesser wing of the sphenoid there is an opening here, that is the optic canal. Okay, optic canal is there. So the fissure, that is the superior orbital fissure, is bounded above by the lesser wing of the sphenoid completely, below by that of the greater wing of the sphenoid, okay, and medially by this is medial, and the medially it is bounded by the body of the sphenoid. Now this fissure posteriorly, if you are sitting in orbit, then this fissure posteriorly communicate with the middle cranial fossa and anteriorly with that of orbit. Okay, the fissure anteriorly it is opening into the orbit. So is the opening is of the optic canal, is this opening here. Okay, if you have seen this much, okay, let us see the structures which are present here in the optic canal. This is the optic nerve. I will just write down here optic nerve, and this lower down here is the ophthalmic artery. Ophthalmic artery, and the optic canal is here. Okay, now let us see the other structures which are here passing through the orbital fissure. Okay, orbital fissure. For that, let us see that this a fibrocartilaginous ring. This is the, I have drawn in dotted line with the green color. This is said to be a fibrocartilaginous ring, and this fibrocartilaginous ring is attached, okay, enclosing the apex of the orbit, and apex is located close to this or at the this optic canal, okay, through which the optic nerve and ophthalmic artery, they are coming from the middle cranial fossa towards the orbit. Okay, they are coming toward the orbits. Now this fibrotendinous ring which is attached here, okay, this gives origin to the four recti, or the muscle, that is the extraocular muscle. Okay, four recti which are ribbon like, that's why it is called as recti, and they are the extraocular muscle. This is the superior rectus muscle of the eyeball, rectus. This is the medial rectus, and this is the inferior rectus. All four are taking origin from fibrotendinous ring which is attached surrounding to that of the optic canal, and this is called as the lateral rectus. So the superior, medial, inferior and lateral recti, they are attached to the fibrotendinous ring. Now because of this, okay, this fibrotendinous ring attachment, okay, this superior orbital fissure, see this This is whole is the superior orbital fissure in white. Okay, and this is divided into 4 parts. Okay, this is divided into the 4 different parts. Okay, sorry, not 4, I'm sorry, I was thinking something else. The 3 different parts, it is divided into 3 different parts, and these parts are will give, as we will see, the passage to the various structure. But how these parts are divided? This is the medial side, this is the lateral side. So this part is called as the upper lateral. So I will just write here upper, because it is at the upper level. See this, in comparison to this, it is of the orbital fissure, it is upper lateral, because it is lateral. As I said, the median plane is somewhere here, this is the lateral. So this part right from here till the tendinous ring, this is the, from here to here, it is upper layer, and then upper lateral, okay, not layer, upper lateral part, and one which is enclosed within the fibrotendinous ring means this part. This is called as the middle part. So I will write down here the middle part. Okay, here I have written upper lateral, and here it is the middle part of the fissure, that is superior orbital. And this lower one here, it is called as the lower, because it is at a lower level, and medial, because it is medial towards the median plane. So this is the lower medial, the middle part, and this is the upper lateral part of the superior orbital fissure. Okay, so we have divided into 3 parts. Let us see what are the structures which are passing through the, first we will see upper lateral. Keep on noting. Okay, you just make a list for the structures which are passing through the upper lateral part. Okay, just a minute, let me find my red pencil so that I can, okay, it is here, right. So upper lateral most part, it will give the passage to a small artery here. See, I have drawn here a small artery, and this small artery is called as the recurrent meningeal branch of ophthalmic. So it is recurrent meningeal branch of ophthalmic. Okay, why it is called as recurrent laryngeal? Because ophthalmic artery is here. We have already written here. See, optic now, and this is the ophthalmic artery. Ophthalmic artery is here. Okay, so this is the ophthalmic artery. Now this gives a branch, and that is the recurrent meningeal branch, which after coming to the orbit, it goes back to the middle cranial fossa to supply the meninges. That's why it is called as recurrent meningeal branch, which passes from the upper lateral part. Most laterally it passes. Okay, then second structure which is here is the lacrimal nerve. Okay, lacrimal nerve is a branch from the ophthalmic nerve. Lacrimal, frontonasal, nasociliary and frontal. Okay, these were the 3 branches from that of the ophthalmic nerve, and from this ophthalmic nerve, this branch is called as the lacrimal nerve, which is the lateral most branch. So I will write down the name of the lacrimal here. Lacrimal nerve. It is the lacrimal nerve. Okay, branch of ophthalmic. Then there will come a nerve which is lateral to it, and this nerve is called as the frontal nerve. This is the frontal. Again a branch from ophthalmic nerve. So this is frontal. You just note down this frontal, lacrimal, frontal, and they are medial to the recurrent meningeal branch. And one more nerve is here, and this is the trochlear nerve. This is a trochlear nerve, and this trochlear nerve is a cranial nerve, and this supplies to that of the lateral rectus. This is supplying to that of the superior rectus. Okay, trochlear nerve. Okay, trochlear nerve, which supplies to the superior rectus muscle. This no, I'm sorry, not to superior oblique muscle. And superior, where is superior oblique? It is here. This is the superior oblique muscle, okay, and this is the levator palpebral superioris, okay, levator palpebral. So that is trochlear nerve, which supplied to that of the superior oblique nerve, okay, superior oblique muscle. So this is the trochlear nerve, that is the fourth cranial nerve. While, okay, we will see that all the three cranial nerves which supply to the muscle oculomotor, trochlear and abducent, they will be here coming from the middle cranial fossa to that of the this orbit. Okay, I'm sorry about this. Okay, trochlear nerve. Trochlear is the nerve, the fourth cranial nerve is supplied to the this superior oblique muscle of the this extraocular muscle. Okay, one more structure I will tell you, it lies in the lateral most part, and this is the vein, and this is the superior ophthalmic vein. Okay, superior ophthalmic vein. So one vein, superior ophthalmic, one artery, the recurrent meningeal, and three nerves, lacrimal and frontal, which are branched from the ophthalmic nerves, okay, and the fourth cranial nerve, trochlear, which is supplying to the this superior oblique muscle, which is here, okay, which is here. So these are the structures which are present into the lateral part, that is upper lateral parts of the fossa, I mean to say of the fissure. Okay, all are coming inside except the recurrent, which is going back to the middle cranial. Otherwise, they are coming from the middle, I mean say this vein also going from the orbit to that of the middle cranial fossa as a tributaries to that of cavernous sinus. Okay, so artery and vein, they are going from orbit to the middle, and these three now they are coming from the middle cranial fossa to the orbit. Let us see what are the structures which are in the middle part of the superior orbital fissure. Okay, there will be four now, okay, out of which two will be superior and the inferior rami of the third cranial nerve. Superior and inferior rami, I will just write down here, superior and inferior rami of the third cranial nerve, that is the oculomotor, that is for the oculomotor nerve here. Then one more nerve, which is the branch of the ophthalmic, called as nasociliary. I will write its name of the nasociliary is a branch of the ophthalmic of the trigeminal. So this is the nasociliary branch. So there are three branches of ophthalmic. One is nasociliary, middle one is frontal, and lateral one is lacrimal. So lacrimal, frontal, and nasociliary, they are the three branches of the ophthalmic nerve, sensory nerve. Okay, it is a sensory nerve. Now this is the third cranial nerve, that is the oculomotor nerve, and this was the fourth cranial nerve, the trochlear nerve. There is one more nerve here in this, and which one is remaining? Okay, I told you that this will be the third, fourth and sixth cranial nerve, which will supply to these muscles. They are all motor. So this is the trochlear was here fourth, oculomotor is third, and this is the sixth cranial nerve called as abducens, sometime abducens or abducent nerve, and this is the sixth cranial nerve, and this nerve will supply to that of the lateral rectus muscle. That means the lateral rectus is supplied by abducent, and then the this superior oblique is supplied by the trochlear, and the rest of the muscles are supplied by the oculomotor, third cranial, which supply many muscles, okay, which I will teach you when I will come to the extraocular muscles. Okay, extra. Now, this were the two division, parts. Let us come to the third part, and the third part is this lower medial part of the superior orbital fissure. And this contained only one one structure, and that is the inferior ophthalmic vein. This is called as inferior ophthalmic vein, and this inferior ophthalmic vein will have a communication with that of the pterygoid venous plexus, okay, which ultimately will drain into the cavernous sinus. Of course, superior ophthalmic is also going to the to the cavernous sinus, okay. This completes the structures which are passing through the three parts of the superior orbital fissure, that is upper lateral, middle, and the inferior lateral. You should keep this diagram in your mind and write it when you are replying to the structures which are passing through superior orbital fissure. A simple diagram. Thank you very much for watching this video.